to deposit cash into the digital RMB accounts of thousands of people for them to use. And it was used in a way that they expected to. They use it for everything from riding taxis to buying small things in retail shops. So the fact that it was used became widely accepted among the people who have actually received it. Now, in a place like China, I mean, digital renminbi is almost a default. It's almost ripe for wide acceptance, because China is the only country to have actually widespread acceptance of digital cash in the form of electronic payments. You have WeChat Pay and Alipay dominating most of online payments in China. And as not a lot of people know this, but China already has transitioned almost to a digital economy. 30% of all their retail sales are now done through online methods. That's huge.
Huge, absolutely. And as you say in the article, China, the world's second largest economy, has set the stage for a cashless society. But the reason I asked, why the people are happy, because when I've spoken to other guests, they've said this just gives, the Chinese central bank and the government more control over the people, where they're spending their money, how they're spending it. So that's why I ask you, why the embracement of a cashless society?
Okay, I think you accepting it is different from being happy with it. I think my idea of this is that yes, Chinese are accepting it just as they accepted WeChat Pay and Alipay and all the things that go with it, all the potential for privacy issues, for control by the government. And we all know that WeChat Pay and Alipay will allow the government to do whatever it wants if ever it needed to. But that aside, I believe that the advent of the RMB digital currency is also going to set off a wave of buying in gold in China. And I'm talking about gold jewelry, because really it's very difficult to buy gold in China if it's not a gold jewelry store. So that's, I think, one of the ways that people are going to start to protect themselves right before the advent of this launch of the digital RMB.
This is really interesting. And now my ears are ringing, Brian. So if I get this correctly, there'll be a surge in demand in gold.
Yeah.
Right. With the rollout of the digital currency, because people will feel the need to further protect themselves.
Exactly. And in China, Bitcoin is very difficult to do. And they've already banned Bitcoin mining in many places. So they are already kind of tightening the screws on the crypto market in China, because they know that the cryptocurrency market is a way for them to lose control of capital flows within China. And the Chinese government totally hate that, right? And that's why they're coming up with the digital RMB. It's really about control of capital flows in and out of China and within the economy. There are positives to a digital cash. It's going to make monetary policy much easier. And I feel that, you must have been watching the news about China, wherein they say, the economy is growing now. It's actually rebounded a lot from the lows of the pandemics. But the problem is it's not an even recovery. You have manufacturing rebounding strongly, but consumption remains very weak. And I think China has learned from 2008. And when 2008, when they launched a massive stimulus program that was designed just to attack or address the supply side of the economy, they just built roads and bridges all, everywhere. And it was just a matter of pumping out growth, right? And the demand didn't really come until later on. Now, the problem is, what do you do in this kind of situation where you need to stimulate the economy, but then make sure that you're stimulating demand instead of creating more artificial supply? And I think the digital RMB is going to help solve a lot of that, because you can actually start stimulating parts of the society that you want to by just pumping cash into these wallets of these segments of these societies that you think that they need to increase consumption.
Yeah.
That's the positive side. But the
Yeah.
negative side, again, people are not stupid. Chinese people are not stupid. I'm half Chinese. And I know my parents have always loved gold, and they need it for not just for weddings. They love buying gold, whether it's gold price is up or down, and they love buying it more when the gold price is down. And you will see it in the Shanghai Gold Exchange premium. That premium actually hit a historic low discount when the price of gold suddenly shot up last year. And the Chinese government intervened and stopped deliveries of gold for a while. Now, that premium is back up to almost 1%, which is its historic premium. And Chinese have been known to buy up gold whenever the gold price of gold goes down. And I think that's going to coincide with the launch of the digital RMB. And I think that gold jewelers all over China are going to do so well this coming 12 months.
Really interesting thoughts, Brian. So what about silver? Because I've heard that there's been a huge uptick in silver demand from the Chinese. Are you hearing
That
anything
too.
on that? Yeah.
That too. I've been following the gold market more closely than silver, but when gold goes up, silver goes up too. I mean, Chinese are also just as infatuated with silver as they are with gold, and I'm not surprised that they are buying up as much silver as they can. It's easier to trade, but it's again as a store of wealth. Gold is number one for the Chinese, most of whom still don't have access to Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies. And silver, of course, is a metal that you can use in small amounts to trade, to barter, but that's it.
Brian, let me ask you, with this war on cash, which country do you think would be next to follow suit? How far behind are the United States?
I think the United States is still very far behind, and we're going to run into a lot of resistance. In just the mere mention of a digital U.S. dollar, and the absence of cash as we know it. There are, I think it's a generational change. I think it's, most of the Chinese now, especially the youth, I would say there are a lot of young people in China who have never even held cash in their lives. All they've known is their digital wallets in their phones. And just coming up with a digital RMB is really not much to them.